What is up, you guys? It's your boy John here from Puma Plow. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for clicking on another on the farm. Welcome to the farm. I am standing here just about to enter the pumpkin patch. I have something I want to show y'all, so let's take a look. So here we go, guys. We are out in the pumpkin patch, obviously, and I found a Cinderella pumpkin. This is one of my favorite shapes of pumpkins that we grow, or favorite varieties. You can see it, it's very flat. Here's actually another one here with some weeds. Let's pull that weed. But here's another one here. You can see it's a flat pumpkin. Nice, flat and round. Pretty awesome pumpkin. Like I said, one of my favorites. I really like them, and there's a lot of color out in this pumpkin patch now, guys. You'll see from the drone footage here in a second. We're starting to see some pumpkins out here, and it's still a little early, but they're still blooming. They'll be fine. The pumpkins will keep going. Oh, you guys, as you can see behind me, the clouds are insane today. I mean, take a look at that. Just insane. So I'm going to set the camera up actually here in just a second and film a little bit of a cloud montage for y'all. It's one of my favorite things to do, to be honest, is a cloud montage. So why not? We'll get that rocking. Other than that, it's going to be probably just some drone footage today of Dad cutting down our sweet corn, and I'm about to go actually here in a second over to the neighbor's property to film that cornfield that we filmed over on the neighbor's. And actually right now, guys, we're gonna walk over to the cantaloupe patch and take a look at this monster cantaloupe. We will warp there now. All right, you guys, we are here at the cantaloupe. I filmed these with the drone today as well. We'll take a look at that footage in a second, but I wanted to show y'all something over here Dad found earlier today. Hear a train in the background, by the way. Blowing his horn like crazy. Alright, so I'm going to walk out in this patch just a little bit here in Dad's footsteps. Look at this cantaloupe, guys. This is the size of a normal one right here. Look at this bad boy. That thing is monstrous. So is this one here actually too. This one's huge as well. Like I said, this is the normal size they're supposed to be. And this is monster. So I will definitely film when we pick it. It's not ready yet, but there's quite a few cantaloupe in the cantaloupe patch here. But yeah, that's it for that. So guys, let's go to cloud montage, and then we'll come back with some awesome drone footage of the cornfields and whatnot. Thanks for watching.
Alrighty, guys, what is up? It's your boy John, the voiceover guy. How's everybody doing? Thanks for sticking around through the cloud montage. So what we are doing here, I should say, what Dad is doing here is mowing down our sweet corn. We did get some off the second planting, and we just never had time to cut down the first planting. So here he is, he's going to mow down both of them at the same time. And we used to go out there with a machete, chop our corn down, and then run it through a shredder. But we decided that was too much work, and it's so much easier just to go out there with the tractor and brush hog and mow it down. And it's just easier, and it chops up the crabgrass that's coming up in there as well, and makes tilling it all just a little bit easier after he's done mowing it here. So might as well break out the tractor and the brush hog. Haven't had it out too much lately. Dad has been mowing the ditch this year out at the highway. He's mowed it a few times now. Keeping it looking pretty good out there because nobody else cuts it, so we might as well. Just one of those things you can do to make the world a better place. Now, if you guys look right there on the right side of the screen, that is the hollyhocks patch. And you can obviously we cut them down a couple weeks ago. And all the hollyhock seed has started to come up. The ground is just covered with seed and covered with hollyhocks coming up now. It is insane how many hollyhocks have started sprouting and coming up since a couple of these rains and whatnot. It is crazy how many there are. So we mowed the first planting down there. The first planting, we didn't get anything out of it. I know you guys keep saying to try a radio of some kind, like out there just making noise at night. We still haven't done it, but we did get some out of the first planting, and then you can kind of tell there on the left of the screen that whatever was left, the deer finally came in and got it, but it was past the point of being like edible or any good, really. So not really a big deal that the deer came in and got it. It's just whatever, and it was time to mow it down and get rid of it, be done with it, and till the ground and let it rest, because we are done with this part of the garden for the year now. So you can see we did have a lot of open room this year in the garden, like where Dad's driving there. We just didn't have the time, it seemed like, this year to garden as much as we normally would. Normally we would have like watermelon or tomatoes. We've done tomatoes in the past. We didn't grow any of that kind of stuff this year. Just didn't have the time down there this spring. So maybe next year we'll, kind of devote more time to it in the spring, because that's when you need to, spend so much time down there working on it, is the spring. So we just did not have that time this year. So it's all good, but just like that, boom, corn's cut down, and it's so much faster, so much easier than doing it with, a machete or a corn knife, whatever you want to call it, and a little shredder, shred it all up. Now, it does a better job when you run it through the shredder, of course. You just get like a little pile of finely shredded corn, but this works for the most part. A couple of them you can see there, he ran them down and they're still kind of whole, but that's all right. That tiller will eat them up. They'll start rotting. Tilled a couple times this fall and be good to go. You can see he's cutting real low, trying to hit the root wads a little bit. So that is a brush hog, of course. It's made for getting in the dirt, and doesn't bother it at all. Now right here, he's actually mowing the weeds that we pulled out of the hollyhocks patch. They've been laying there, and he wanted to get those chopped up as well, just because why not, get them starting to rot so they're not laying there for our pumpkin party coming up in October. So we try to clean the place up at least a little bit before our pumpkin party. We want it to look nice for the people that come down, and always try to straighten up, clean up just a little bit, and so that is that. But you can see the pumpkins are doing awesome. We do a flyover here of the pumpkins, of course, here in a second, and it's pretty awesome. So he's out there just driving back and forth and all around. I think he's gonna back in here to the where those weeds were. I actually want next year, I'm gonna try to convince him of this, to just back into the hollyhocks patch with the mower and chop them off that way. I think it would work just fine, and it would accomplish pretty much the same thing that we do now. But hey, we can use a tractor and it's easier, and be faster. If you drive on the plants, that's okay, because there's so much seed that comes up. If there's a few plants that are still in there, it wouldn't bother them whatsoever, in any way, shape, or form. So I want him to do that, but maybe next year. You never know. So, and actually, when he was backing in there, I think he was on that pass right there, he hit one of those big weeds from a couple weeks ago now. I guess maybe last week. And he hit that big weed, and it actually went flying and hit the old combine shed. And I was standing there filming, and I'd look up, and I was like, what the heck was that? So you can see pretty much right away, actually, guys, he got the Aaron's rear tine tiller out and started tilling it up, popped those root wads out of the ground to get them starting to rot. You can see those tines are having some tough times at times here. It is the root wads that he's hitting with the tines, and sometimes it'll cause them to stop a little bit, but that's all right. You just kind of wiggle it and away you go. So he's going to get that all tilled up. And so here's our pumpkin flyover. This time we're actually doing it kind of in reverse. Normally we start out front with the early pumpkins and come back here to the late ones. These are the late ones, and we're gonna fly to the early ones. Yeah. So here's the corner, and you guys can see there's lots of blooms in there. Actually, it's kind of hard to see, but they are blooming like crazy right now. So yeah, it's impressive how much they're blooming right now. So, and there is some weeds in there, some grass, some crabgrass, but it's not that bad, at least right now. Maybe by the time the next on the farm, we'll see how bad they get. But we do need to spend some time out there doing some spraying, hoeing, and whatnot. So guys, we're over the late soybeans now. The soybeans that were planted after wheat. They did come back in and spray them again. But this time they actually sprayed them at a 90-degree angle to the way they are planted. Now, I'm not totally sure why they did this, but they did. And it's actually much like that neighboring farmer that sprayed his soybeans at the 90-degree angle to the way they were planted as well. So these guys did this in this field and a couple other fields in the area that they farm as well that had late beans in them. They went ahead and sprayed them all. Now, I'm not totally sure what they sprayed. They did have some weeds coming back through in spots. You could see them like in person. It's hard to see it from the sky here, but in person you could see it. And you can see they went right across the road. They kind of spray this field, or these two fields, as one, really, which is awesome because then it keeps the weeds down on our road for us and we don't have to worry about them. But of course, the side effect of driving at a 90-degree angle is you run down a lot of plants, but if you drive with them, you're probably going to run them down too because they're so big. So now, guys, we are over on the neighbor's property. The neighbor that has come over and asked me to film this field before, I went back over there just to kind of check it out. The corn in this particular field anyway has hit its number of days and it is starting to ripen. They sell different season length of corn, basically. It's called different numbers. And some of them will be, so many days, and then some of them will be 5 more days or 10 less days or whatever. So this must have been a shorter season of corn, and it has hit its number of days, and it is starting to ripen, and the ears will be starting to dry out. And you can also see this is the field. This is like the super sandy soil in the area. This is probably the sandiest field in the area down there. And when I mean sand, it's literally sand. Like, you could almost bag it up and sell it as like sand for a sandbox. It's pretty bad how sandy this field actually is. And you can see back in July and June when we didn't, I think it was June. Anyway, we didn't have any rain. I think that was June. Back when we didn't have any rain, this field got burnt out pretty good in these spots. And it's crazy now that anything that's green really in this field is a weed. Grass, water hemp, it's just crazy how the weeds are taking over. But I mean, it's expected to happen when the corn is very thin due to drought, and then we get a lot of rain. The weeds are, of course, going to come on quite heavily. They did not spray this patch. At least I don't think they ever sprayed this patch after normally when you would spray corn when it's, waist high or maybe a little higher. I don't think they sprayed it anyway. I didn't see any like turn marks or anything at the end, so I would say they have not sprayed it, but it's pretty gnarly looking right now. That's why I wanted to get back over there. I've been wanting to get back over there for a couple weeks and just have not had the chance, been too busy and stuff. But you can see here, like, the amount of crabgrass down in there is real. And of course the water hemp, that is an issue as well. They are big and there's a lot of them. So it is kind of crazy how many weeds are in this field. But yeah, so it's something. So this field, I don't know what it'll average, but I will let you guys know as soon as I find out as far as our yield or their yield on this field. I will, of course, let you guys know, but for right now, I'm going to throw you back to Actual John. Thanks for watching, and John the voiceover guy out.
So you guys, thank you very much for watching another On the Farm video. I really do appreciate that. And until next time, I'm your boy John from Puma Plow. Hit that like button for more. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and Zoodles.